Welcome to the Filling Station. I am Miss Dee Dee. I am super excited, y'all. First, let me go ahead and say this. I am not a financial advisor. The purpose of this video is for educational purposes only. I enjoy teaching people how to produce generational wealth, and the stock market is just one of those avenues, right? That is my disclaimer. So let's get started, right? So we are looking at Tesla, and I wanted to explain how I entered a trade today really quick. And I normally don't enter first thing in the morning, but I have been watching Tesla, and I marked Tesla on the 30-minute chart. I have been watching it consolidate, right? And when I say consolidate, I call that the gathering spot. And if you look here, you'll see that I labeled it gathering spot. I marked the high and I marked the low, and I put it in a different color because I'm going to go to a smaller time frame. Looking at this 30-minute chart, you can also see the where I marked it here and here. So those are gathering spots. Those are what people would call consolidation areas. And if you're at the top of the move, some people will call it the supply zone. That's where the sellers are, or the demand zone is where the buyers are, right? So we are now looking at the 5-minute chart. I do not enter my trades on the 30-minute. I will mark my charts and move down to a smaller time frame. As you can see here, this is my gathering spot on the 5-minute spot. On the 5-minute chart, Tesla is consolidating here. That means it's going sideways, not really doing much of anything. So my morning trade was here. I noticed that Tesla broke out of my consolidation area. The moment that it broke past this spot here is where I was looking to enter my trade. So I entered the trade here, and I thought it would have, stopped here because I have another gathering spot here. But Tesla kept on dropping. So I stayed in it knowing that I was going to have trouble at this area right here because that's where the support was before. So I stayed in the trade from about here. I set an alert. As soon as that alert went off, I went in. I followed this trade all the way down to here, and I got out. I could have stayed in the trade, but you got to be careful with that because sometimes you can stay in and give back all of your profits, because this candle probably started red and look how it turned green really quick, and then you would have lost a good portion. I mean, if I got in here and it got rejected here, it met resistance here, I would have given back all of my profit. And then we have a hammer at the bottom of a move, so that lets me know Tesla's probably getting ready to reverse back to the upside. We have a double bottom here. That's another signal or indication that it's probably going to change directions and go to the upside. So we got to be careful at that. Trading is just like, again, I said all the time, putting a puzzle together. You've got to learn to just look at the pieces that's before you and try to dissect it or break it down, instead of trying to get overwhelmed with the overall picture, because you could very well get overwhelmed because it does look like okay, I don't know. But so we're still looking at Tesla on the 5-minute chart. Tesla gave us some reversal signals here, and if you look here, our MACD is beginning to cross slightly. And I would not trade based on what I see the MACD doing here. I like to see them fanned out, separated like here, fanned out a little bit more, not as close together. However, you could have taken this as a scalp. Again, I am a scalper on this hammer right here. It has made 3 higher highs. That's a confirmation. It's gotten above all of those moving averages right there. So you could have very well jumped in the trade or gotten in the trade here and scalped it up to this hanging man here. So there's a hammer here and a hanging man here at resistance, right? Because that ATR trailing stop is resistance. Tesla is letting us know I'm getting ready to shift directions. So that's another piece of the puzzle that we have to just, pay attention to. So again, if we would have got in this trade here, I would have entered it based on this hammer and my 5 and 50 crossing here to the upside. So I would have entered the trade here and scalped it until I got to this place here. I would have gotten out here because that would have been a nice scalp for me. And this candle right here is letting me know that Tesla is still having trouble in this area. We have 1, 2, 3 candles here that Tesla was not able to break through. It came down and it found support right here above VWAP and the 50 EMA. It broke through the 20 EMA, so that would have been a concern for me. And we're under the 5 EMA, so I definitely don't want, I need to be careful if I didn't sell here and if I'm in a call to the upside, because it could very well come here, bounce off this, and go higher as it did, because we are above the 5 EMA here. It looks like Tesla made a new high of 251.25 right here. Okay, I would be careful if I was trading Tesla right here based on this 5-minute chart, because this right here tells me that it could very well turn back to the downside, right? So let's, looking at our charts, it does show us that Tesla made 3 lower lows, and look what our MACD, it crossed, but because they're so close together, I would not have entered the trade here. It looks as if Tesla came and found support on this, I call it the Fibonacci right here, the fib level right here. It came here, found support, made a double, almost a double bottom. Some people, when they look at the double bottom, they look at the wick. I look at the body of the candle, because that's where the price action, that's where the candle closed, here at the body here. So to me, that's a double bottom. Okay, we are still under the 5 EMA, right? So let me show you where I would have entered Tesla again for just a quick scalp in and out. I am a scalper, and I do better that way versus staying in it. I make small profit, which brings about bigger gains, and I'm grateful at that. So now Tesla is above the 5 EMA, which is my light blue line here. We have made 1, 2, 3 higher highs. That one is about the same. So could I have scalped Tesla around this range here? I could have. My MACD, you may not can see it as clear, but it did cross a little bit here. So we could have entered this for a scalp from this to about here, and we could have gotten out. When you go into a trade, you definitely want it to be a profitable trade, and you want it to be a worthwhile trade versus, okay, I'm just jumping in this and it's really not going to make much, or it's not going to do much. When I say small profit, big gains, you still want to make sure that you're going to make some type of profit from that, or otherwise it's really best to wait until the next trade or the next profitable trade, right? So Tesla is still in that consolidating place here up at the top. It never broke past that 251, I think 251.25. It never broke past that. So here it came down 3 lower lows, but it consolidated a little bit. So this would have been a little bit different to trade, just trying to trade Tesla in this area here. Our 5 and 50 did cross. It is under the 5 EMA, so that will be puts that we will be in down on to the downside. But again, when I trade Tesla, I mean right here is confirmation that we could have entered the trade to the downside. But looking at it, would I have taken the trade? I'm not sure that I would have. I think I would have waited on another setup for me, because to me it's like the wavy up and down, and I don't do well with those, especially when the MACD is that close to each other. Again, I like to see them fanned out and very much separated, right? So here's a consolidation area here. I could have marked my alert, or put my alert on to let me know that if Tesla gets a break above this place here, that I can enter, to the upside. And that would have been a nice scalp. Look, major difference here. Do you see how the MACD is separated versus how close the lines are here? That's why I would not have entered the trade over, because of how close the MACD lines were. Now, when they're separated like this and I have a cross right here, I would have scalped Tesla right here. As soon as my alert went off, I would have entered the trade probably around here, and I would have gotten out right before closing bell right here, and that would have been a nice little scalp for me based on what I'm seeing. But overall, Tesla did what Tesla does. Let me say that. The most important thing is to always go and see. You always need to know who's in control. Are the buyers in control, or are the sellers in control? I use this pre-market information to help me with the consolidation or the gathering spot, right? And I made a decision based on what I saw here. I marked those levels, and I went down to a smaller time frame, which is my 5 minute. You still see that purple line here. Let me see if I can bring that down. There it is. So you see the purple line that I marked on the 30 minute, and it is marked 30 minute here. These are the green that I marked on the 5 minute here. And you see how Tesla is came here, scalped it in the right there at the open for a nice, really nice, profitable scalp. And one of the things I can say is if you are in profit and it was a nice profit right there at the open, you can wait a few minutes before you enter your next trade, because if you're not careful, you'll jump in and you will give all of what you just made in a matter of minutes, because all of this happened in the first few minutes of the market. Here it is, 9 o'clock, 9:30 market open. This is our 9:35 candle here. So all of this happened within a few minutes. That was a nice profit. You don't want to give any of that back. So you have to be very, very careful. And you know, when I make a decent profit early morning like this, I'm really careful about my next trade. I need it to be strategic, and I need it to be profitable. And I don't want to keep going in and out, in and out, in and out, and then I'm losing as I go in and as I go out. So yeah, today was a great day, and I'm thankful for that. The main thing is to pay attention to what you see and trade what you see. Mark your gathering spots, set your alerts, and once it breaks out of that consolidation or that gathering place, that's when you enter your trade. Make sure you look for your MACD crossing as a confirmation. But my encouragement to you is to just stay focused and don't rush. Let the trade come to you. Stay focused and don't rush, y'all. I'm super, super excited. I am Miss Dee Dee here at the filling station. I hope that this has been very, very helpful to you and for you. Yeah, until next time, y'all, have an awesome day today.